So let me guess, your reach is low on Instagram. Do you know how I know that's true? Because you clicked on this video. So I'm gonna take a wild guess, say that your reach is low on Instagram and you need some help. You're looking for some tips and tricks to help improve it. You're in the right place because that is what this video is going to be about. Before we dive into it though, if you like this type of content, then be sure to hit the subscribe button because I upload content like this every week. I also have a bunch of freebies available for you in my description that I feel like you're gonna love, so check those out. All right, let's just dive into my tips for fixing your reach on Instagram. Tip number 1, lean into the content that works. A lot of the time we go out of our way to try and find these new content ideas because we're trying to fix various parts of our Instagram account. When in reality, if we just took the time to reflect on our existing content, we could probably see which content is performing well for us and which isn't. And we don't need to reinvent the wheel, like the content is already there. So my main way to do this is for you to go onto your Instagram account right now, get your phones out, go onto your Instagram account right now, and I want you to go into your analytics, or if you're focusing on your reels, then go to your reels tab, and I want you to scroll down and look for the content that has performed the best for you, okay? So what you're looking for specifically is content which has the highest amount of reach or impressions. Or if you're focusing on your reels, then try and find the reels which has the most amount of views. I then want you to save all of this content to a designated folder, and you can call this folder whatever you like, research, reach, research, I don't know, double R, whatever you want to call it. Save all of that content to a folder, and that's going to allow you to have a holistic view of all of your best performing content when it comes to reach. And now that you've got that, all you have to do is dedicate 10 minutes, 20 minutes to looking at that content and looking for synergies. So you're looking for the similarities between all of that content. Have you realized that your best performing content in terms of reach is in fact your reels? Or have you realized that your best performing content is your quotes? Have you realized that your best performing content in terms of reach has a hook at the start, uses trending audio? Like, what similarities does that content have? It doesn't have to be that every single post is similar in some way, but I'm willing to bet that if you dedicate the time to kind of analyze that content, you'll probably realize that a lot of them have similar traits. And once you're able to pick up on those traits, you can make sure that your future content also has those traits, because that is really going to be your best way for ensuring that your future content gets as much reach as your best performing content has. So that's my first tip. My second tip is to leverage some tactics which will encourage people to spend a lot of time binging your content. Now, the reason why this is a tactic is because Instagram will reward creators who keep people on their platform for a long time. This isn't unique to Instagram. This is the same with every social media platform, because the goal for Instagram is to keep people on Instagram for as long as possible so they don't head off to TikTok or to YouTube, etc., right? And when they can notice that accounts are really, really good at getting people to stay on Instagram and binge all of their content, then they usually reward that account by ensuring that that account's content gets seen by a lot of people, right? So the tactic here is to basically make your content bingeable. So let's say that someone finds one of your reels and then they go onto your account to see what the rest of your content is like. You want to make sure that your account is set up in a way that it's really easy for people to browse through your content and stay on your account for a little bit longer. And one of the main ways you want to do this is by ensuring that the cover of your reels or your photos are engaging in some way. So when it comes to the cover of your reels, if you're delivering some kind of value in your reel, make sure that that value is clearly stated with text on your cover photo, right? If that's not this type of reel that you're creating, then make sure your cover photo represents what your reel is in some way, shape or form. So that when people are binging your content and browsing your content, they can easily see the different posts that they want to look at and engage with. And it's really easy for them to stay on your account for a longer amount of time. Another tactic here, which I won't dwell on because I know some people hate this conversation, but this is usually where niching down comes in handy. This isn't me telling you that you need to niche down and you need to ditch all your 8 niches. I'm not telling you that. I'm just presenting the facts, right? When someone has a really refined niche, they often find it easier to keep people on their channel for longer. And let's use an example, right? Let's say that I share a post about puppies and then a lot of people find that post because they love puppies. If they then go onto my profile and see that I've got tons of content about puppies, they're going to absolutely love it and they're going to sit and they're going to binge all of my other content. On the flip side, if they go on my profile and they see that I've only got 2 posts about puppies and the rest of it is about finance, they're probably not going to binge my content and they're probably going to keep it moving. So that is why niching down also helps you with that tactic. Another tip that's going to help you with your reach is to cross promote. Utilize your other channels that you have, if you have other channels, of course. So if you have a TikTok, if you have a Pinterest, if you have a YouTube, talk about your Instagram account. Share your content on those channels and try and drive more people to your your Instagram account that way. That is one of the most surefire ways for you to get more eyeballs on your content, is to quite literally share it with more people. This works especially well on Pinterest because you can quite literally repost your Instagram content. That is pretty much what my Pinterest strategy is, and it works super well. A pro tip here is to always try and persuade people or give people a reason to go on your Instagram account to look at the actual post. It's not always enough just to say, hey, I posted this thing on my Instagram account, you should go look at it. Sometimes you need to give people a reason to look at it. Maybe you need to say that there's great conversation being had in the comments section of that post, or maybe you need to say that you've added some amazing value and tips in the caption. Give people a reason to go and look at your actual Instagram post, because that's going to increase the chances that they actually go and do that. Another tip to increase your reach is to pay close attention to every part of your post which someone can interact with. The reason why is the more people who interact with your post, the more likely it is to reach more people. And what's really interesting here is that when I say interact, most people just think like liking, saving, sharing, commenting, and those are interactions, don't get me wrong. But Instagram actually pays attention to so much more than that. So they also pay attention to how long someone lingers on your post. They pay attention to how many people swipe on your carousel. They pay attention to how many people click that more button on your caption to read the rest of your caption. They're looking at all of it. So when I say interactions, it's like any way that someone is interacting with your post, Instagram is tracking and keeping a close eye on. So pay attention to that when you're creating your content. How are you driving more interactions? How are you persuading people to continuously swipe along your carousel? How are you persuading people to click that more button and read your entire caption? Like, what are you doing which is ensuring that people are lingering on your content for a bit longer? I'll give you one of the answers, because one of the answers is usually having a great hook. And that is applicable for all of the things that I've just said. So having a great hook on your first carousel, which persuades people to want to read the rest of your carousel or look at the rest of your carousel. Having a great hook at the start of your caption, which persuades people to want to click that more button. And having a great hook on your reel so that people actually want to watch the rest of your reel. And a hook is basically something which encourages people to want to find out more, right? So it's when people have something on their reel which says, watch until the end. Or when people have something on their carousel which says, 5 reasons why your Instagram page is failing. Like, those are hooks. They've captured your attention and they've encouraged you to hang around on that piece of content for a little bit longer and to interact with it in different ways. My final tip is all around story sharing. So there's 2 tips here, right? So the first one is to ensure that you have turned on the setting which allows people to share your content to their stories. So a lot of people don't realize that this is actually a setting that you need to turn on or off. And it basically means that other people, when they see your amazing reel or your amazing carousel, whatever it is, they're able to share that to their stories. And it's important that you have this turned on, because other people sharing your content to their stories is amazing for your reach. It means that more people are going to get eyeballs on your content, and it's going to massively increase the chances of your content getting a higher amount of reach and impressions, right? On the flip side though, there's also the tactic which involves you sharing your post to your stories. This is also a very useful tactic for you to do. Now, there are a group of people out there who I like to call story surfers, and they are people who spend more time looking at their stories than they do going through their home feed. And there are actually a lot of people like that, right? So when you share your post to your stories, it means that those story surfers will see your content, and that is super, super valuable. And to take it one step further, again, you want to try to incentivize people actually clicking on that post and seeing it properly, because you know, when you share a post to your stories, it doesn't necessarily count as an impression or reach. You need to actually click on it and make sure that someone's actually looked at it properly. So in order for you to do that, you need to incentivize it in some way. So you need to give people a reason to click on your post and see it properly. And when you do that, it's going to massively impact your reach for your content. So that is it for today's video. I really hope you found it useful. If you feel like hanging around, I recommend watching this video. It's all about the 5 things that you should do immediately after posting on Instagram, which will increase your chances of blowing up. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I'll see you in my next video.